This is a safe space. No one is going to judge you here for doing any of these things. Welcome back to Book Break. Let's talk about book crimes it's okay to commit. I'm going to dive straight in with a really divisive one, but I think it's okay to dog-ear your books. I know people get very up in arms about this, but I do it. Bookmarks can be really hard to keep track of. I'm always losing mine. Putting the book face down breaks the spine, although I will jump in and say another book crime it's okay to commit. I think it's okay to break the spine, if you don't mind. I've tried memorizing the page number I was on, but I always forget it. So it's okay to dog ear. It's just practical. Linked to that, and possibly equally divisive, it's okay to write in your books. In fact, I think it's great. I love buying secondhand books that have annotations in them, whether it's a dedication written by hand at the beginning or notes scrawled in the margin throughout the book. I love that. Those notes tell a story all of their own. And so, of course, I love books where you are actively encouraged to write in them. Like, for example, the greatest self-help book is the one written by you, which is a journal, a daily journal created by Vex King and Koshal. And it has got prompts throughout where you're encouraged to write in the book, to fill out these exercises and prompt yourself to pay attention to how you're feeling each day. It's okay to start in the middle of a series. So I got in loads of trouble at work the other day for confessing that I started watching White Lotus season 2 before I watched season 1. But I'm enjoying it. I don't think it did me any harm jumping straight into season 2, and the same applies to books. It is okay to just pick up the most recent book in the series, or the one that you think sounds the most exciting. You will fill in any gaps pretty quickly. So for example, I just started reading Exiles by Jane Harper, which is technically the third book in a series starring detective Aaron Falk. But this story will hook you in right away regardless. It is about a woman who vanishes from a festival, leaving a baby in a pram. And then it picks up a year later to look at how the ripples of this mystery have reverberated through the community. And it is a really page-turning story all on its own. So my opinion, pick up that book. You don't always have to worry about catching up with everything that came before it, or you might run out of time to read everything that you really want to read. For the same reason, I'm saying it's okay to DNF. Life is too short to read books that you're not enjoying. We're not at school anymore, so put that book down and pick up something that you actually want to read. Also, I think that if you know you're not afraid to DNF, you're more likely to pick up something out of your comfort zone in the first place. And anyway, DNFing a book now doesn't mean that you can't ever pick it up again in the future, and you might find that at a different stage in your life, it's exactly the book that you want to read then. It's okay to prefer the tie-in cover. I know people have very strong opinions about this, but when a book has your favourite actor's face on the front, you're obviously going to want that on your shelf. I have quite a few tie-in covers, like The Wonder by Emma Donoghue. I can't resist anything with Florence Pugh's face on it. This next one I feel very strongly about. It is okay to root for characters who are doing things that they shouldn't. Characters do not have to be morally perfect. None of us are. And actually, for me, I think that's what reading is about. It's about learning to empathize with people who are really different from you, or people who make decisions that you wouldn't have made. I really like reading books where I find myself rooting for characters, even as they do things that I maybe wouldn't do, or think that they shouldn't do. It's a really interesting way of getting inside somebody else's mind and understanding them. Sometimes that means reading pretty dark books. I have to confess, I do like a dark thriller, but it also can apply to something much more fun and lighthearted. For example, something like Fling by Joseph Murray. I've got my proof copy here. The finished cover is going to look like this. This is a rom-com about a married couple whose relationship is falling apart after many years together, and so they each, without the other one knowing, sign up for a dating app. Those of you familiar with the lyrics to the Pina Colada song might have some idea where this book is going. These two might just find that what they've been looking for is closer than they think. But that's such a good example to me of finding these characters who you love even while they do things that they shouldn't. I might be alone in this next one, but I think it's okay to look up spoilers. Particularly in thrillers, I actually really like knowing where the book is going, because then it gives me a chance to spot the really cleverly laid clues along the way. I was just talking to Elle, the other half of the Book Break team, who I know you haven't seen in a video for a while, so let's see if we can get her back on camera soon. But she said that she often reads the final word of a book first, and then she goes back to the beginning. It's weird, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a crime that it's okay to commit. It is definitely okay to prefer e-readers. So the e-reader versus physical book debate can get pretty heated, and I think that the physical book lovers can act a little superior sometimes. And I'm allowed to say that because I am one of them, but it is okay to prefer an e-reader. After all, they're so much more convenient. You can bring your whole library with you on holiday. If I wanted to bring my whole library with me, I'd need a truck. And finally, it is okay to have a favourite genre or a favourite type of book that you like to read. Don't let anyone convince you that your reading taste is inferior. It is okay if you only like reading fantasy or sci-fi or romance. It is okay if you only like reading YA or middle grade. It's okay if you only like reading graphic novels. Read what makes you happy. And I can help you with that. If you click on the Book Break logo here, you will go to our channel page and you can browse all of our different playlists with different genre recommendations. Having said that, if you do want to branch out a little, I will link here to a genre swap video to help push you out of your comfort zone. So head over to either of those and I'll see you there.